Apologetics is the high I'm on for the highest God. It's like a mix between a crack fiend's crack pipe and a firearm. I fire on to these liars like when the cypher's on and light them all on fire and pick their mind with some pliers, dog. I cook and taste it in flavor that takes the atheist ages to try debating. The lacerations I made from creation to revelation could cut a hole in your brain with the blade that I call the tomb, cause my God had conquered the grave with it. My fellow Christians catch flack for their whack rap, so let's backtrack to reasons why the fam don't give a fat crap what other rappers yap. Dog, I've written notebooks full of reasons why my God exists that choose a hole in knapsacks. So for instance, in simplistics, let's just talk about existence and use deductive reasons that I'm listing. See, if anything began, then it had cause from the beginning. If it didn't, then that means that things can form from apparitions. Like a clock, it's impossible to mimic mechanisms that'll orchestrate a function so consistent. The atheist will claim it might be chance that goes beyond your recognition, knowing all too well it don't support mathematic propositions, yet they go there. They drift off on this road that leads to nowhere while they swing their fist at God and hold their breath until there's nowhere. But my weapon is some facts, hot attraction, just a notepad. I'm defending God in rhyme and I could spin it on them so bad. So bad. Yeah. Apologetics is the high I'm on for the highest God. It's like a mix between a crack fiend's crack pipe and a firearm. The fire's on and it's burning inside its writer's on, so writing's on the agenda to drop knowledge, ignite a bomb. I come forward with mixed potent explosions of poems to get a hold in your notice, hoping your focus attack. You gon' need it to filter out intellectual weakness. We come correcting your speeches, what isn't fact. The fact clearly establishes that there's gotta be at least one God who exists. It's mathematics, and since I know my critics is laughing, their ignorance isn't passing, I'ma put a handle on for you to grab it. Set theory, a scientific branch of math firmly established and indicates the finite of the past. That means if we dig inside the riches of the clock inside its stash, you gon' find it was a time that it began. If time couldn't be infinite back into the past, that means we have a logical moment prior than time spans. Whatever brought time about couldn't be time's hand, so now you need a timeless cause to bring about time's plan. The story don't end with time's face, the hands were ticking away at a pace defined by the expansion of space. The Big Bang's cause was timeless minus a shape. That's the primitive definition of the God you can't escape. Yeah. Apologetics is the high I'm on for the highest God. Like a mix between a crack fiend's crack pipe and a firearm. Heat from the gun, lighting the pipe to the fire chars with their mind is on as I write it on every heart with a lightning rod. One crack of his thunder, the sky'll form like a fireball, and the sky'll fall on the lies that their mind explores. I try to think about subjective law minus thought, cause thought's are subject to every premise when you minus God. I know it's nonsense, but I break it down simple for the sake of popping pimples using forms of modal logic. So for instance, the uncertainty principle, quantum physics states electrons are a particle and wave in opposition. You can treat them by the one, but the second's always different, so you never see the same form of premise or position. Now that's true, as you measure the momentum there's a difference, but you can't ignore the premise of the person and their vision. Thus I fight. The electron's always different, but our sight and how we view it is objective, thus the premise sees a light. I'm not saying they're the same, that's a fight I never fight. I'm just saying it's a fact that both are different and you're right, but it's fact and it's scientific genius that's intact. It's objective and it's true, I'm glad that science bridges gaps, but the fact that it's a fact shows subjectivism lacks in its consistency for randomness. The constant had to cross up on his back. Yo, apologetics is the high I'm on for the highest God. It's like a mix between a crack fiend's crack pipe and a firearm. The fire longs to put ignorance in a tire form, burn rubber with facts and run track loop it inside a song. You parlay with a parliament full of politics. The politics of rhyming with the fam and get you coughing quick. You reason cause breathing with ease is not so awesome when you rap with those who pass on ignorance and what it's offering. Laymen, inexperienced, unintelligent, disregard for truth without searching through all the evidence. They criticize believing in God as if it's medicine for those who need a crutch to get through life and all the hell in it. Whatever, pathetic, so I show them what the jaw could do. Expose a lack of knowledge through logic, and when it's costing you embrace absurdities becomes the norm and what you're forced to do, all the while a real lack of education or fortitude. I got spinal beliefs because the backbone is truthful. The resurrection of Christ is provable. The historicity of the gospel's immovable, while atheistic proofs are just inscrutable. There's only 4 bars left, so I'ma lay it out. Only fools say there's no God, displaying how they proud. I use arguments and logic that sound to lay it down. They denying my beliefs, but not equipped to take them out.